This was taken 10 months after I left my family in Jordan. This is the first trip of my 3 children, Pastor Dong Mendoza. Now he is a bishop, my late husband, and my brother and my sister-in-law. It was so beautiful, and it's a great experience for my family to visit the Holy Land. I regret that I was not able to visit this amazing place that everybody wants to visit. And I pray one day I will visit these holy places in God's perfect timing. Jerusalem holds a special place in the hearts and minds of Jews, Christians, and Muslims. It is mentioned 667 times in the Old Testament and 139 times in the New. Although today the city boasts a population of over 770,000 people, its origins were humble. The early history of Jerusalem. The earliest settlement in Jerusalem began on the 15-acre southern portion of the eastern ridge, the old ancient core, because the only good-sized spring, the Gihon Spring, was located there. From 2000 to 1550 BC, Jerusalem is mentioned several times in the Egyptian text as Yerusalemun, meaning foundation of the god, Shalim, or city of peace. Although excavated building remains are few, significant portion of a thick wall have been uncovered. This wall was apparently built about 1800 BC and continued in use, with rebuilds until the end of the Judean monarchy, 586 BC. The city remained 15 acres until it began to expand northward during the days of David and Solomon. 2 events in the life of Abraham placed him in close proximity to Jerusalem. Melchizedek, the king of Salem, met Abram after his rescue of Lot. Later, Abraham took his son Isaac to one of the mountain in the region of Moriah to sacrifice him, and same place where Solomon built the temple. Jerusalem next appears in the stories of the conquest under Joshua. When the king of Jerusalem, Adonai-Zedek, heard of the Gibeonites' treaty with Joshua, he realized that his major line of communication with the coast and hence to Egypt was in jeopardy. He assembled a coalition of 4 other Amorite kings and attacked Gibeon, but was defeated by Joshua. During the period of the Judges, Jerusalem came under the control of the Jebusites and was named Jebus. It was the Judahite David who captured the city in his 7th year and made it his capital. His general Joab used the Sinor to do so, an underground rock out diagonal tunnel that lead from inside the city to a large pool fed by the Gihon Spring.
You are looking now at the Via Dolorosa. This is the place where Jesus Christ carried the cross 2,000 years ago. Very nice, right? Okay. Ano ba?
Sige.
Hello. We are entering the birthplace of the Virgin Mary. It's a place here in Via Dolorosa. Now this is a part of East Jerusalem. Bye-bye.
Maria, baby is born Virgin Mary, Church Saint Anne, Greek Orthodox. You Maria and baby. Maria, father and mother, sleep deep down. Maria, baby is born Virgin Mary, Church Saint Anne, Greek Orthodox.
The city of David, because of Jerusalem's neutral location, it was a capital acceptable to both David's own tribe of Judah as well as to the tribes of the north. The city became David's and his descendants' personal property and the royal seat of the Davidic dynasty. David brought the ark from Kiryat Jearim to Jerusalem, which he established as the major worship center for all Israel. David built his own palace there, and toward the end of his reign purchased the threshing floor of Araunah and Jebusite, a site north of and higher than the ancient city core, where Solomon eventually built the temple. In the 4th year of Solomon's reign, 966 BC, he began building the temple, a task that took 7 years. The exact location of the temple is not known, although many researchers place it in the immediate vicinity of the existing Muslim shrine called the Dome of the Rock. To the south of the temple, but north of the ancient core of Jerusalem, Solomon built his own palace and the palace of the forest of Lebanon. It is possible that this royal acropolis was, in early times, called the Milo, but later came to be known as the Ophel. Solomon strengthened the wall of Jerusalem and included the Milo, Ophel, as well as the temple area within the confines of the wall. Thus, the walled city expanded from 15 acres to about 37 acres. During the divided monarchy 930 to 722 BC, Jerusalem was attacked several times, once by the Egyptian pharaoh Shishak and once by Hazael of Aram Damascus. In each instance, lavish gifts taken from the temple treasury, both of the aggressors.
Hi, Mami! Sabihin mo kay Mami, nandito kami sa Israel. Aba, parabi lang kay Mami, magsalita ka. Shalom! Sabihin mo, shalom! Shalom ka mo. O, marhaba na lang. Marhaba, Mami. Kif halik. Kif halik, Mami. Kunudama.
Malapit hummus.
Malapit hummus.
Say hi to mommy. Say mo camera. Chris. Didi.
Ano ba ka lang kid? Ano?
Anong ginawa?
Bumati ka si Jordan.
Hello, good morning. It's Friday morning here at Tel Aviv.
CNN.
What you are looking now and what you are about to see is a place called Jaffa. It's where Jonah. You know the story of Jonah, who paano ba mag-English? Who was put inside the whale for 3 days. Ito yung lugar, it's Jaffa. And it's a place where Peter first preached in the book of Acts. And it's also a place where Peter healed Tabitha.
The young girl.
Si Peter ba o si Jesus?
Peter.
But anyway, you can check on that in your Bible. And it's also a place where Dorcas, you know Dorcas, who was dead, was raised by Peter to life. Okay? And you can also find here the house of Simon the Tanner, where we are about to go.
Okay. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
In the days of Amaziah of Judah, however, Jehoash of Israel attacked the city and broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the Ephraim gate to the corner gate. It is difficult, however, to pinpoint the location of these gates in the city walls. During the 8th century BC, Uzziah built towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate, at the valley gate, and at the angle of the wall, as he strengthened the defenses of the city. Also during his reign, 792 to 740 BC, and after, Jerusalem expanded westward so as to include the southern portion of the western ridge, probably because settlers from the northern kingdom moved south to avoid the Assyrian onslaught. In the excavations in the modern Jewish quarter of the old city of Jerusalem, a 210-foot segment of a massive wall, 23 feet thick and in places preserved to a height of 10 feet, was discovered. This was likely built in Hezekiah's day because of the threat of Assyrian assault. He enclosed the whole southern portion of the western ridge so that the total area of the walled city swelled to 150 acres and boasted a population of about 25,000.
I miss you.
I miss you.
Totoo yan, ha?
Kita ba? Huwag kang magtampo sa akin. Ako'y pagod sa mga bata, lalo na kay JD. Pag hindi nabili ng sapatos, nagagalit sa akin. Kaya pasensya ka na kung hindi ako nakasulat. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
I love you.
Ingat ka, I love you.
Since the Gihon Spring was at some distance from the newly enclosed western suburb, Hezekiah devised a plan to divert the water to a spot inside the city walls, closer to the western hill. He did this by digging an underground tunnel that followed a serpentine path to a point in the central valley, which was inside the newly constructed city wall. This diversion is mentioned not only in the Bible, but also in a Hebrew inscription discovered at the southern end of the 1,750-foot tunnel. But because of the continuing sins of the people and their leaders, God's judgment fell on Jerusalem in 605, in 597, and climatically in 586 BC, the year when Nebuchadnezzar destroyed both the city and the temple. Almost 50 years later, a large-scale return to Jerusalem began in response to the decree issued by Cyrus, 539 BC. Led by Sheshbazzar, 49,897 people returned to Jerusalem from Babylon, rebuilt the temple altar, and reinstituted sacrificial worship. Not until the days of the Persian Darius, however, were Jews led by Zerubbabel able to actually rebuild the temple, 520 to 516 BC. The second return from Babylon was led by Ezra, the scribe, 458 BC, and was noted for its spiritual accomplishments. The actual rebuilding of the walls took place in the days of Nehemiah, 445 BC. From that time until the beginning of the 2nd century BC, not much is known about Jerusalem. Early in the 2nd century, the Seleucid king Antiochus III defeated the Ptolemies 198 BC, and the change in rule was welcomed by most of the Jewish population. With Antiochus' support, repairs were made to the temple, and a large pool, possibly the Pool of Bethesda, was constructed. Thank you for watching, and let's continue to watch more videos to remember my late husband's memory and his legacy. Thank you.
Ay, Sally! Sabi ko, ikaw pa rin nasa Amerika na, daya-daya mo, hindi ko man lang nalaman.
Yeah. Sige ka. Sige, dito na mo.
Sige.
Sige.